Today, we will be discussing trauma and the hidden threat, the principles of emergency care for anticipating complications in the golden hour. Emergency care requires looking past the obvious mechanical break to anticipate the hidden, life-threatening complications before they cascade. A head injury can mask an intra-abdominal quiet bleed. A pelvic fracture can hide a genitourinary structural tear. Crush injuries carry a systemic toxin threat, and fractures carry a hidden vascular pinch. The surface trauma is never the whole story. Intra-abdominal injury has two mechanisms: penetrating trauma, gunshots and stabbings, where velocity is the primary determinant of damage, most often affecting the small bowel and liver. Blunt trauma, motor vehicle collisions and falls, is often masked by concurrent injuries, hiding covert hemorrhage in solid organs like the liver, spleen, and kidneys, and in major vessels. Your assessment protocol: inspect, auscultate bowel sounds, assess for distension, rigidity, and rebound tenderness, and monitor closely for hypotension. Your diagnostic choice depends on patient status. For the stable patient, CT scan gives high-resolution, definitive imaging. For the unstable patient, the FAST exam gives rapid bedside ultrasound for free fluid, and diagnostic peritoneal lavage serves as backup when resources are overwhelmed or CT and FAST aren't available. Your baseline trauma panel always includes CBC for hemoglobin and hematocrit, and ABG, INR for coagulation, and white blood count. CARES sign is a referred pain map worth memorizing. Free blood in the peritoneal cavity irritates the diaphragm, transmitting pain along the phrenic nerve up to the shoulder. Left shoulder pain: suspect a spleen laceration or rupture. Right shoulder pain: suspect the liver. Worth noting, many blunt liver and spleen injuries are now managed non-surgically, provided you maintain close hemodynamic monitoring. Genitourinary trauma hides profound mechanical disruption, and your exam findings dictate the next steps. A rectal exam revealing a high-riding prostate indicates a urethral transection. In a female exam, a vaginal exam revealing an open pelvic fracture indicates massive structural instability and a serious infection risk. This is the Foley decision tree, and it's a critical nursing alert. Always perform the rectal exam first. If there is a high-riding prostate or blood at the meatus, do not proceed with catheterization. That's your stop sign for a possible urethral injury. If neither is present, it's safe to proceed. Acute stabilization follows 5 steps. Secure the baseline, ABCs plus spinal precautions, protect exposed tissue, moist sterile dressings applied immediately to any exposed viscera, decompress the GI tract, withhold oral fluids and insert an orogastric tube, give medical prophylaxis, tetanus, toxoid, and broad-spectrum antibiotics, and move to disposition. Rapid transfer to definitive care or the OR if bleeding or shock is ongoing. Crush injuries create a systemic cascade. The mechanism is a patient trapped between opposing forces, causing severe localized tissue hypoxia and cellular death. The ripple effect includes hypovolemic shock from massive fluid shifts into injured tissue, concurrent spinal injury risk depending on the entrapment, severe underlying fractures, and acute kidney injury. The ultimate systemic threat from necrotic muscle byproducts. Watch for the rhabdomyolysis triad: severe, profound muscle pain, weakness, and dark urine from myoglobinuria. Management follows ABCs, elevating extremities and aggressively protecting the kidneys with IV fluids. Your resuscitation target is a lactic acid under 2 millimoles per liter, indicating successful tissue perfusion. Advanced interventions include fasciotomy for compartment syndrome or debridement and hyperbaric oxygen where available. Fractures carry a vascular priority. Start with a full head-to-toe exam. Handle gently, cut clothing away, and document deformities, pain, swelling, crepitus, and ecchymosis. Assess ABCs first, then check distal pulses. If you find a pulseless extremity, attempt immediate realignment, or apply traction and recheck circulation. If it isn't restored, that's an emergent transfer to the OR for vascular evaluation and repair. The golden rule of splinting: splint the injury before you move the patient. The biomechanical requirement is to immobilize the joint above and the joint below the fracture site, preventing shearing forces. And because splinting itself can shift bone fragments, you must strictly recheck neurovascular status, pulses, sensation, movement, immediately after applying the splint. This is the universal trauma protocol tying it all together: anchored on securing the baseline, circulation, and perfusion. For intra-abdominal injury, stop the quiet bleed and maintain hemodynamics. For genitourinary injury, respect structural integrity. No blind Foleys. For crush and muscle injury, flush the system and protect the kidneys from myoglobin. And for bone and fracture injury, restore the vascular highway through realignment and immobilization. Effective trauma care isolates the specific mechanical damage while continuously defending the systemic physiological baseline. Always anticipate the hidden danger. To summarize the full picture, on assessment and diagnostics, remember referred shoulder pain, left points to spleen, right points to liver, and match your imaging to stability, CT for the stable patient, FAST for the unstable one. Always performing a rectal exam before catheterization to rule out urethral injury. On management and stabilization, watch the rhabdomyolysis triad of weakness, dark urine, and CK levels above 6,000. Follow the splinting protocol of immobilizing the joint above and below the fracture with a neurovascular recheck afterward, and manage exposed viscera with moist dressings while withholding oral fluids. Anticipating these hidden threats early is what protects the patient through the golden hour.